His body shape, he looks, if you were going to guess which sport he was in, you'd definitely say boxing.
Definitely say boxing. And I like the reception from the supporters that are in the arena here for him as he walked by. I love the fist pump, you know, toward the crowd. But I like the look on Emmanuel Chance's face. And I'm going to take this opportunity to apologize to Emmanuel because I haven't had a chance to talk about him before any of the stuff. You know, he's going to give me a hard time about it.
But it's also been great to see the Japanese support. They've been here all week.
Yes.
Flying their flags everywhere, making lots and lots of noise. And I'm sure you'll hear plenty more of that when the action gets underway. But two very well-matched fighters again.
Right, they are. And you talk about, you know, the pressure, you know, in these moments and how much of it there is. And you think about the opportunity for Kumamoto, you know, to get a goal for Japan, you know, in this moment, right, which would be there first. And how about in that other corner where you have Emmanuel Chance, you know, representing Team USA. 3 American boxers boxed on yesterday for a goal, all 3, 1 goal. How much pressure does that put on Emmanuel, self-imposed or otherwise, to go out there and win gold as well? It
does, and USA boxing at home as well, so another aspect of the importance of it. But here we go, the action is underway, and Emmanuel Chance in that southpaw stance. He's quick with that jab and stabs to the body. But he's certainly got an opponent on his hands who knows what he's doing in Kumamoto.
He saw the response from the crowd for that left hand from Kumamoto, and Chance has got to be careful with that.
The Chance is just eyeing his man up, and that was a really good lead hook, and I didn't even see what followed. It was too quick for me to catch it, to tell you the truth, but he's got some seriously rapid hands, and at the moment the theme of this fight is Emmanuel Chance is on the front foot and Kumamoto is on the back foot, but that might be the way that he likes to box. But Kumamoto's got to be careful of that whipping, that super fast, that vicious lead hook which Emmanuel Chance throws, because it comes out of nowhere, doesn't it?
It does. And I was just about to say something, and before I could, I was going to talk about where Emmanuel Chance is carrying his hands, and I didn't like how low they were. But before I could say that, Kumamoto steps up and lands a combination, and Chance is doing just that. He's taking chances with a boxer who is here, who knows what he's doing, and he may want to be careful.
With Chance just stalking his man, following him around the ring, trying to cut that ring off and not give him the space which he would want and need. But Kumamoto just bouncing in and out, light on those toes. He needs to try and gauge that distance, but whether he'll be able to maintain a safe enough distance and get those shots off whilst boxing on the back foot, I'm not sure. But he did get through with a straight left hand, but it was countered immediately by Emmanuel Chance with another hook which landed on the head guard of the man from Japan.
You know, Chance needs to understand that Kumamoto is doing a pretty good job right now of counter-punching. He's waiting and expecting, and that left hand of Kumamoto is a pretty nice weapon over that southpaw jab coming from Chance. Kumamoto has a height and reach advantage, and that's not a bad thing to have when you're in there with a guy who has to get close. He has hand speed, but Chance has to get close enough to throw those punches, and Kumamoto is doing a nice job of keeping his distance, forcing Chance to do something before he throws that punch. He has to step forward, he has to lean, he has to lunge, he has to do something first, and that is what is allowing Kumamoto to have the success that he's having right now.
Bingo, you've absolutely nailed that, and I feel that Kumamoto is just starting to get into his groove a little bit there, and confidence is growing with the man from Japan, and Emmanuel Chance still doing plenty of good work. That jab to the body, that southpaw jab to the body is working well. But these two are quick in everything which they do, not just throwing their hands, but the way that they move their bodies, they slip, they bob, they weave, the way that they do their footwork. They are two very fast fighters, and let's see what the judges say about that opening round.
Well, you see what the judges have to say. 4 of the 5 judges at ringside give that first round to the blue corner and Team Japan in the form of Kumamoto, and I agree with that assessment. One of the judges at ringside giving it to Chance. I thought Kumamoto did a nice job of counterpunching, and again, he knows that Chance has the speed advantage, but Kumamoto has the height and reach advantage, and so by maintaining that distance, he's forcing Chance to have to step or to lean or to lunge before he throws a punch. And in doing so, it is balancing out and negating to a large degree the speed advantage of Chance. And if Kumamoto is able to keep that distance and to continue to force Chance to have to make some sort of move first, this is going to be a long bout for that red corner.
It could well be. And here we go.
Music noise earbuds, also available on Septo.
Turn the real noise on. Noise के smartwatch, earbuds and more delivered in 10 minutes on Zepto. The man from Motilal Oswal is back.
I don't give tips, only solid advice.
With his timeless wisdom.
The stock kept plunging, but I kept buying, hoping for a recovery.
Sir, trading is T20. Investing is test cricket. Never confuse the two. Never forget the 3 R's of investment. Research, research and
Research.
sir.
To get solid research and solid advice, download the super app Rise by Motilal Oswal.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
Round 2 of a fight scheduled for 3 like all of these bouts. And Chance straight on that front foot again and smothering his man Kumamoto from Japan.
Now, the big difference in the way that this round started, right there, you saw Chance. He didn't try to throw from the outside. He got all the way in, and now we get our first takedown of the day, ladies and gentlemen. But you see Chance, he got all the way inside and wanted to box on the interior instead of on the outside like he tried to do when the bout began. And clearly they've already made that adjustment in that red corner between rounds.
Yeah, I imagine that's exactly what the information was which Emmanuel Chance was given, and we'll see how he can pull it off or not. And Kumamoto is doing a marvellous job of just maintaining that wide, strong stance because he's aware that those shots can come out of nowhere, and he doesn't want to get caught and end up on his backside on the canvas, that's for sure. And the fight which Kumamoto clearly wants to fight is one at distance, and the fight which Emmanuel Chance wants to fight certainly isn't that. And let's see if he can get in. Let's see if he can corner his man, get him on the ropes. But can he keep him there long enough, David, do you think?
Well, and that's the question. Kumamoto, you can see, if you look at him physically, he's someone who clearly, takes his training seriously. So this is a young man, if you just look at him, he doesn't look like someone who's just going to run out of gas, that type of thing. So Chance is going to have to box the entire 9 minutes of this contest, and he's going to have to do so smartly and maybe be a little bit more patient and get inside, like right there. He didn't throw anything from the outside. He waited, got close, and let his hands go, and I think that's what's going to serve him well if he's going to get this bout.
He did, and Kumamoto looks like all of a sudden he's having a very good time in there. His confidence has gone up, and I don't believe Emmanuel Chance has run out of ideas by any stretch of the imagination, but he's going to have to really go for it and get inside, because with 1 minute to go, in my humble opinion, I think the judges are probably going to give it to the blue corner again, because Kumamoto's just done that better work in this round, and it's been cleaner and crisper.
Well, it's the distance that he's maintaining, and you see, Jeb,
he's maintaining that distance so well, isn't he?
He has. Even on the jab, when you look at Chance, when he jab, you see there's a bit of a lean at the end of his jab. He's not just throwing it from the shoulder because he's a little bit out of range, but unfortunately, he's in range for Kumamoto when he's there.
Pizza at ₹479 and SIP at just ₹100. Open free Demat account.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all the scheme-related documents carefully.
नारियल तो रोज का ही है। A2 मिल्क स्पेसिफिकली बच्चों के लिए, काउ मिल्क रेगुलर ड्रिंकिंग के लिए, बफलो मिल्क चीज बना दिया, कर्ड हो गया, कंट्री डिलाइट का देसी दानेदार घी,
पनीर और कर्ड,
कंट्री डिलाइट की सब्जियां,
ग्रीन लीफी वेजिटेबल्स,
कंट्री डिलाइट का जो मस्टर्ड ऑयल इज वन ऑफ माय फेवरेट्स,
द इडली डोसा बैटर,
चने की दाल, अरहर की दाल, मूंग की दाल, मसूर की दाल,
वो डिज्नी products, so either it's makhanas or yogurt, drinking yogurt.
तब से घर में ना ड्राई फ्रूट्स तो सारे ही मेरे कंट्री डिलाइट से आते हैं.
For us, the go-to is Country Delight ka dalia. Rice and atta, which
anything, everything, whatever is there available on Country Delight app. We are a loyal customer and we are using Country Delight products.
Well, with 25 seconds to go, I think the pace which these two have been working at, that minute's rest will be most welcome. Emmanuel Chance just has a look at his man and tries to think of a way in. And Komoto doing exactly the same thing, light on those toes, super slick and fast, bouncing in and out, popping that jab out, which is working well. And we have, it's been a good fight, it has been a clean fight mostly, but we have had a bit of wrestling as well, haven't we?
A little bit, and that's one of the things I also believe is serving Kumamoto well as you look at the scores. 5-0 shutout in that second round, and one of the things that's working for Kumamoto is the fact that he's willing to get a little rough and tumble with Emmanuel Chance, you know, in this bout. Once Chance gets inside, he's not allowing, he's tying him up, he's wrestling with him, he's not allowing Chance to do the things that will benefit him once he gets inside, and I like that about what Kumamoto is doing. Congratulations to him. I got to tip my hat to him. He's doing the things that you need to do when you're in there with a guy who is as slick as Chance, who is as fast as Chance, and he's also fighting from the southpaw stand. So you're going to have to muddy it up a little bit, and he's doing that. And, hey, I think he's doing a good job.
And it's interesting the way that this fight has played out, because in the opening minute, Emmanuel Chance looked like he was in control.
Right.
And he was overwhelming Kumamoto. But it didn't take him long to adapt, did it? And
Not
adaptability is a big thing. Let's see how both fighters perform in this round as we go into the last 2 minutes, 45 seconds, and one of them will be crowned gold, one of them will be crowned silver. Chance is not mucking around, and I think he didn't get the instruction to box on, and that's what the referee's just having a quiet word of him about.
Well, you see Chance immediately complaining to the official that Kumamoto wasn't engaging. And so as the official is reminding Kumamoto why we're here, Emmanuel decided that he would go ahead and crack on.
Crack it. There we go. You'll hear some American stuff from me, and you're going to hear some British stuff from David, because that's the way it's working. Meat and potatoes.
Good left hand by Chance, maybe his best punch of the bout right there, as Kumamoto found himself along the ropes.
Chance looks like he's just getting a bit frustrated now. He's doing everything. He's chucking everything, the kitchen sink and every other item at Kumamoto, and it doesn't seem to be proving enough, because the slick skills and that control of distance, that gauging, which the man from Japan has put together, is working nicely for him.
It is, and you saw one of the things that really tells you how this bout is going. You saw the left hand, the left hook that Chance threw at the end of that last exchange that didn't touch Kumamoto, you know, and it's not. And when you think about the speed difference between the two, that's not how. It wasn't Kumamoto's speed that made Emmanuel Chance miss. It's because Chance was never close enough in the first place.
Download Grow. ये है इंडिया का नंबर 1 स्टॉक ब्रोकर। यहाँ आपको मिलेगा फ्री डीमैट अकाउंट, 0 एनुअल मेंटेनेंस फी और करोड़ों इन्वेस्टर्स का भरोसा। डाउनलोड ग्रो एंड स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग। Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
With a big, horrible lead hook from that southpaw stance from Chance, and he has not given up in any way, shape or form, as he just continues in the same direction which he had for the 2 previous rounds as we go into the last minute, and that is forward, and I believe he will continue just going forward. And Kumamoto with those long straight shots from distance, just trying to keep his man at bay, and he must sense that in the next 45 seconds he could be crowned Japan's first gold medalist. What an achievement it will be for him, and for all the people watching at home in Japan, everybody who's followed his journey and his career so far, even though that they're young fighters and they've got a long way to go. This is a massive step in their journey.
It is, and Kumamoto boxing from the southpaw stance as well in this bout. just doing a masterful job of maintaining the distance that he needs to be effective. And when Chance gets close, he grabs him, he ties him up, he makes it ugly, makes it dirty, and then like there it is right there. Chance gets close enough to do what he wants to do. Kumamoto does the smart thing and grab him and tie him up.
Kumamoto boxed a very clever fight, and Emmanuel Chance will probably be a bit frustrated. I don't think he needs to be frustrated with himself necessarily. I just feel that he come up against a style and somebody who was very good at that style and very good at what he needed to do, and he made it extremely tough for Emmanuel Chance to make an entrance and land shots. And the opening moments of the first round, it looked like it was going to be a washout for Chance. But Kumamoto is a seriously good boxer and another one to keep an eye on, like many of the boxers which we've seen here.
Well, that's what it's about, right? That's about it, right? We've said it. We've used the phrase multiple times throughout the broadcast of the past. Yesterday and today, we talk about the passing of the torch. You know, these countries are looking to identify their next, you know, stars in the international competition. This is part of it.
In the blue corner from Japan, KUMAMOTO.
Unanimous decision there, Darren. What do you think about that one?
Unanimous decision, a clear and comfortable win for Kumamoto. I think that's certain. He did everything which he needed to do, and he did it very well indeed. And Japan have got their first gold medalist. And I said it yesterday, I just love the respect which you see at this type of boxing, this amateur Olympic style of boxing. You don't see this in the pro ranks. I love that there's just a lot of admiration for each other, for the corners, for the judges, for the referee. Everyone's in this together, aren't they? And it's all about moving the sport forward. And that is the right way in moving the sport forward.
Well, you use the right word, and that's respect, right? You know, we can compete all day long, but as long as we have respect for one another, there are no issues. You saw the look on Emmanuel Chance's face. That look had nothing to do with Kumamoto. That was an introspective look. He's like, you know, I can be better. I will be better. You know, he's thinking, man, if I had a little more time, you know, all those things that are running through his mind right now. But, you know, at the end of the day, it comes down to him coming to this tournament, winning a silver medal, but at the same time understanding that there are things to do to get better, and he'll do those things. You know, Emmanuel Chance is a great young boxer and a good kid, and this is far from the last time you'll see Emmanuel Chance.
The judges from Lithuania, Japan, Poland, USA, and Chinese Taipei. The referee from Canada, Jennifer Hines. And now we introduce the boxers. In the red corner, from India, top two, Supriya.
Well, can you believe it, David? Another England versus India final. This is getting quite ridiculous, isn't it?
I feel like there's some sort of legislation that says that there has to be an England versus India bout, you know, every so often. You know, I tell you, it speaks so much to the coaching for both of these countries. You know, every now and then you'll see, you know, in international competition, you'll see a country that has a coach, you know, from a different country, and this is how that happens. You know, let's not think that the world isn't paying attention and taking notice that there's a reason why these boxers, why there's so many boxers from England here in the finals, so many boxers from India here in the finals, coaching. That's exactly why. Obviously, the boxers have to put in the work, but, you know, you have to know which way to run. You have to know how to train. You have to know how to do these things. That only happens with quality coaching, and being in the final so many times only happens with quality coaching.
And you can see it when you're around these people on these big competition weeks, the passion, the knowledge, the enthusiasm, which comes from the coaches as well. And they're second to none. And that's exactly why we've had so many of these. But here we go. Tokchom from India versus Wise from England. Wise in the blue, Tokchom in the red, and I watched both of their previous fights from just a few feet away, and I'm looking forward to this because you would have already told that KAITLYN Wise is very tall for the weight at 54 kilograms, and she is a very good counter-puncher, where Tokchom is a pressure fighter, and she likes to get in on the inside. So this is going to be interesting, but that was a really good straight right hand from Wise, and look at these two go at it straight away. We've not even had 30 seconds yet.
No, we're not. And I tell you what I like best in that exchange. I like Tokchom getting inside, and she landed that big left hand upstairs a couple of times. KAITLYN Wise is going to have her hands full trying to keep Tokchom out of the front yard because she is definitely coming in.
She is, but those big long arms of KAITLYN Wise have got. They are the ammo which she needs. They are the tool which she needs to win this and potentially win England's 7th gold. And it's all going to be about keeping Tokchom from India away. Straight shots galore, scoring those points, keeping her at distance. And that is what she's doing at the moment, is this fight just takes a little bit of a slower pace. But here comes Tokchom. She must have heard me because all of a sudden she's really going for it, chucking every shot which she's got in the locker.
And see, this is what we're talking about when we talk about the distance and maintaining it. Tokchom is doing a nice job of getting inside that jab of Wise and then letting her hands go and making Wise pay for letting her in. I talked about keeping in the front yard. She's on the porch now.
I told you, he's got all the one-liners. And here we go. And you can just sense that Tokchom's going to come flying at KAITLYN Wise at any moment. But has she got the skills to pay the bills and keep her away? But KAITLYN Wise got caught 2 or 3 times there with a straight left hand from Tokchom.
She does, but I tell you what, we talked about it, in a pre-show, in our preview, and about that straight right hand of KAITLYN Wise, that shotgun manner in which she just keeps it cocked and fires it straight. And from that height and from that distance, it's such a weapon when she gets it off. And she has in this contest already. We'll see if she can continue to do so, and if that deters Tokchom from coming forward.
And nice and light on her toes is KAITLYN Wise, with her eyes on the prize, just making sure that she is not going to make any mistakes. And that was a good right hand as she just took a step back from Wise. And Tokchom just looks like she's just keeping that jab busy, keeping Wise thinking as she's planning her next entrance, where she will do what we've seen her do so many times before, and that is throw 5, 6, 7 shots. And that was a slip more than it was anything.
It was. But what I like about that is you see for Tokchom, the swings and misses for her are very few. She's making sure that she's close enough to do what she wants to do, so you don't see the swings and misses. It's very smart for her to get inside and do it the way she's doing it.
But the second this goes, it will go straight to the minute's rest. And looking at the height advantage and the way that KAITLYN Wise throws her shots, she must generate some power in those arms.
She definitely does, and you see that mixed bag. There it is right there. 3 of the 5 judges at ringside award that first round to the blue corner, and KAITLYN Wise, liking that jab and that shotgun right hand, which is great. But Tokchom did some really good things in this contest so far in that first round, getting inside, throwing those big punches upstairs, getting to the head of KAITLYN Wise. It's like what we talked about, the styles makes fights, and the contrast in styles between these two is definitely showing up, and it's making it interesting and making it fun.
It is. It's been a good opening round. It's an interesting one. You don't know what's going to happen at any moment or at any time in this bout. And I wonder what the England corner have told KAITLYN Wise there, and I'm going to imagine that they've said more of the same. Don't let her in. Don't let her anywhere near you. And then, of course, Team India must have said, just break and enter.
Right.
And KAITLYN Wise on that back foot, just keeping that lead hand busy, keeping Tokchom guessing at all times. And that's what all the good boxers do, is not only do they make you work physically, but they make you work mentally as well. And that can be a tiring process.
Absolutely, but I like that left hand of KAITLYN Wise. She threw a nice hook there. I think it kind of surprised Thukchum. She hadn't unwrapped that gift, to this point, and so throwing it for the first time almost in this contest, she got some good usage out of it.
And this is exactly what we expected to happen, which is Thukchum trying to get in close and fight on the inside, fight in the pocket, and KAITLYN Wise just with those long arms trying to keep her away. And what Thukchum did there was nice. She kind of slipped on the way in, and she knew that Wise was going to throw that straight shot, and it missed her, and she landed in the right place but didn't get the opportunity to get to work. But definitely the pace of this round has slowed down, but that was a good overhand left from Thukchum.
Well, she did the same thing that she did a moment ago that you were talking about. She gave KAITLYN Wise a bit of a feint and then threw the left hand, and it got home. Not a bad idea if you are Thukchum.
That's good distance control from KAITLYN Wise. 3 or 4 shots came from the woman from India, Thukchum, and all 3 of them missed because of the good footwork and keeping her at range, gauging that distance. And here comes Wise with a combination of shots.
One of the things that's missing from the efforts of Thukchum is body work. And I would love to see her, when she gets a little closer, go to the body, with that left hand instead of always trying to go to the head like she does right there. KAITLYN Wise's torso is a lot closer to Thukchum than her head. And so if she gets to that body, she'll bring that head down. And so I think she's wasting a few opportunities as this bout goes on by continuing to go almost exclusively to the head with that left hand.
It's a good point, and Thukchum has done a lot of head hunting there, and you're right in the fact that she should go for that body a lot more, because it's still good work. You can still land clean, effective shots, but she continues to go for that head. Not that she hasn't thrown anything to the body, but she could probably throw a bit more, as KAITLYN Wise throws a good right hand, is light on her toes, and that was a nice uppercut straight up the middle from Wise from England.
And again, Thukchum scoring to the head of KAITLYN Wise, but she can't trade shots. She's down on the cards coming into this round. You just don't want to trade with her unless you just have that type of power where you expect to stop her. Other than that, you're going to have to hit and not get hit a little bit more if you're going to balance this out. And so there you see 4 of the 5 judges at ringside give that second round to KAITLYN Wise, and I can't disagree with what they're seeing.
I can't either. I feel that she did the cleaner and crisper work once again, and she's been patient as well. Patience is probably a good way of describing it. She's not getting carried away. She's letting Thukchum come in and enter, and then as she comes in, she catches her with a straight 1-2 or a lead hook. And she also, for a tall fighter, she throws a good uppercut as well.
Well, she's got a nice mixed bag, of weapons that she's using against Thukchum, and so you see that on display for KAITLYN Wise. But for Thukchum, her options are somewhat limited because of that height and reach disadvantage. And also you have to remember, this is amateur boxing. You only have 3 rounds. You can't waste rounds. You can't take time off. So she's got to crank up the pressure right now.
Yeah, there's no time to necessarily settle into these type of bouts, because like you say, you've got 3 rounds to show the judges that you are worthy of that round, and the rounds add up and the points add up, and then ultimately somebody goes away with one of the other medals. But Wise holding on to the centre of the ring there, she just threw 3 or 4 straight shots, and Thukchum switching stance there from southpaw to orthodox and looking to try a few different things out as she gets in. But that was a good overhand right which landed on the head guard of KAITLYN Wise.
It did, and so that's not a bad idea, but you still need to mix in some body work in that, because the farthest thing from Thukchum is KAITLYN Wise's chin. So let's get to those parts that are closer, and that'll bring the head down and closer to her as well. And so the head hunting is actually playing into the hands of KAITLYN Wise, and it allows her to counter, with that left hand.
It does, and the exact moment you said that, KAITLYN Wise countered with a beautiful jab, and then just with her right foot just pivoted off and changed the angle, and Thukchum just was throwing shots at a target which wasn't there. And that's more of what she needs to do as we go into the last half of the final round. And KAITLYN Wise looks like she's on her way to winning gold medal number 7 for England.
Well, I tell you what, I certainly wouldn't try to speak to what's going on inside the head or the heart of anyone in the ring, but you can see that for Tokchom, you know, that forward motion has slowed greatly here in this third round. And I don't want to say, you know, what she's thinking, but, you know, we may be looking at one of those moments where we're okay with that silver medal.
Well, Tokchom just throwing a big looping right hook over the top from her southpaw stance, which just grazed the chin of KAITLYN Wise, but didn't bother her in any way, and she throws exactly the same shot again, and Wise probably wants to think about keeping that distance or keeping that left hand a little bit higher. I know that's not necessarily her style, and there it goes again. 3 times that's happened, 3 times it hasn't landed. Tokchom needs to come up with a new plan, because she's got 30 seconds to try and turn this around, and as we've discussed many times, I don't believe it's going to be enough, but there was 2 good shots which came from the woman from India.
2 very good shots, but again, you know, the effort, the coming forward, you know, the pressure that she has been applying, you know, throughout this bout has slowed greatly here in this third round, and that's not going to be enough in order to get this victory out of the hands of England and KAITLYN Wise.
Well, last couple of seconds then, KAITLYN Wise must sense it, and that is the sound to end this bout in the women's under-19s 54 kilogram category. And when KAITLYN Wise booked her ticket to the final, she was just a metre away from me, and the smile on her face and the realisation that she had won that fight and she was going to be fighting in the final was really lovely to see. And she hugged both of her coaches, who are the same coaches who are in the corner now. And it was a real special moment to watch. Now, let's see what she looks like in a minute.
And just for you know, all of my, you know, people who are watching here from the U.S., you know, he said he was about a little more than 3 feet away from him, by the way. You know, we're not on the metric system. You know,
very good.
We don't have royales with cheese over here. Look at the emotion on the face of KAITLYN Wise. Ah, you gotta love that.
Well, the other day I was 3 feet